Well, on Thursday this week, same-sex marriages will pass into law. It's been billed as an historic moment in the fight for equal rights, but campaigners say many gay people are still facing discrimination and even violence and intimidation too. Des Coleman's been to one centre that helps people from the gay community.
With same-sex marriages becoming legal this week, it's easy to think that the battle for gay rights is over. But this centre in Leicester tells a different story. The centre offers help and advice to people from the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender communities, or LGBT for short, and it's never been busier.
From the 2nd of January, when we opened our doors after the Christmas break, we've dealt with 11 individuals who have attempted to kill themselves, suicide linked to their sexual orientation and gender identity. They range from somebody towards their late 30s to the opposite end of the spectrum, 13, 14-year-olds. And we've recently had an inquiry about an 11-year-old who'd left a very detailed letter to his grandmother saying he was going to kill himself because he couldn't cope with the bullying in school.
Bex, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, I know you're the project worker here. What sort of problems do you see coming through the door?
We get a wide range of issues. I never know who's going to be at the end of the phone. One of the social issues that we're encountering much more lately is that of the lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender asylum seeker. At the moment, they're put in the impossible situation of actually having to prove that they're lesbian or gay. What does that actually look like? I've actually dealt with people who have been told, you're too pretty to be a lesbian, or you're too butch to be a gay man.
For the people who use the centre, it's a vital lifeline. So, Amy, you find this place quite useful?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's mainly to do with the people you'll meet, and you can like relate to other people, and most of them have been through what you've been through, like bullying and stuff like that. And the support here is really good. So I can say whatever, I feel like I can say anything to like Paul or Tim, and they'll help me out in any way possible, and it's good.
We've come so far, from when I was growing up at 14, 15, when I was sent to the psychiatrist for a miraculous cure, to where we are now, there's no comparator. However, I think the generation after us and the generation after that will benefit from the work that we're doing now. There's a terrible word that is being branded about at the minute, that we're a much more tolerant society. We tolerate buses being late and we tolerate the bad weather. We shouldn't be tolerating human beings. That's just not part of our agenda.
Same-sex marriages become legal next week, but some people here still think that there's a long way to go before they reach full equality. And the bleak message is that some think that it won't happen in their lifetime.
That is one very bleak message there, Anna, isn't it? The centre says it's had 11 cases of people attempting suicide. It's just shocking.
Yeah, I don't think the problem
strongly
is that gay people don't have equal rights, if I may say. I think it's the problem is that gay people still suffer from prejudice. And that is wrong, and I've been a long-time campaigner for gay rights since I was a student. I'm very proud of that. So yes, we know we have prejudice. I mean, I held a public meeting in my constituency at the time of the same-sex marriage bill. And I was somebody who was in favour of the same-sex marriage bill. I supported it. And it was one of the most quite unpleasant events that I've ever been to. And the level of just blind prejudice was extremely unpleasant. What was interesting was that older gay people there, it was like, yeah, we know this. We've experienced it all our lives.
How do we
For
overcome that
young
then,
ones,
Margaret? How do we overcome that prejudice?
I think you just have to keep working away at it and recognise there are some people you will never win over. Yeah. As Anna says, you know, it is one of the issues where you get some of the most unpleasant correspondence.
Do you think legalising same-sex marriage is enough, though?
But it wasn't just a gay issue,
but we don't always agree. I do agree with that. I thought, watching the film, it isn't about the rights, it's about attitudes. It's about understanding, it's about
tolerance.
Recognising the humanity.
More than just tolerate is what they were saying at that centre, isn't it? They want
it's
more
about
than just
recognising
that.
the humanity in somebody who has different attitudes and different sexuality from you.
Yeah. There wasn't. It's not for me, somebody who's straight, to tell gay people what they want. No. But what we want is we want the end of prejudice, and it's changed hugely in my life and our lives. It's just enormously.
But they do say that they want to be treated as equals. That's what they.
Well, they are in law. They are treated. Forgive me. I don't think. I think it's prejudice and it's attitudes, and I think it's really. And what I was going to say was that the attitude of young people to say to same-sex marriage, overwhelmingly, the attitude attitude I found was same-sex marriage from young people was, sorry, what's the problem? It was the older generation, not all of course, who had more of a problem with it. And so for a lot of young gay people, they are shocked now to see this level of prejudice.
Yeah, but if, to be fair, where there is prejudice among the young, it becomes part of this horrible kind of bullying atmosphere that can go around. And actually, it's just one of the tools. Maybe it's almost an indication of how younger people don't think of it as being, you know, absolutely terribly important in the way some older people do. That it's just one of the tools you use to beat somebody with. If you don't like them and you want to bully them.
And you've explained to us how you voted for same-sex marriage, yet half of the Conservative MPs here in the East Midlands voted against same-sex marriage.
But that's not because they're anti-gay. Forgive me, same-sex marriage is
some of it was about marriage.
It was about marriage, and of course what it is also about is same-sex marriage.
Yes, well that was the vote.
But it's not. That's not just for gay people, and a lot of people don't understand this. But I have the most amazing couple in my constituency who married as a man and a woman, who find themselves that now the man is a woman. That and they live together, they bring up 3 children. They are utterly brilliant. But for her now to have her certificate, she would have to divorce her wife because it would be and now we have changed that, and it's a very small example, but it's for them and for lots of people of transgender, it's a fantastic step forward.
Can we be doing more to help centres like this? Briefly, both of you.
I don't know about the centres. I mean, it's not, gay people don't just have to have centres. It's about prejudice.
They need somewhere to go to be able to talk about how they feel.
But some do. Some do.
And obviously that needs to be funded, doesn't it?
Well, but I think we're being a danger of being a bit simplistic about all of this.
Forgive me, I wasn't trying